Hello guys, this is Mike from ICO Drops, and this is our update interview with QuarkChain CEO Zhou. So it's been almost 5 months since our first interview. And in fast-moving blockchain world, 5 months is almost eternity. So I'm sure you have a lot to share with our community. For those who haven't seen our previous interview, could you please briefly introduce yourself and tell us about QuarkChain as a project in a few words?
My name is Zhou. I'm a CEO and founder of QuarkChain. So QuarkChain aims to address the blockchain scalability problem by using a technology called horizontal scalability, more precisely called sharding technologies. So we are a group of engineers who are from Google and Facebook, Uber, and who are very familiar with the underlying sharding technologies that are used in the centralized world. So we hope that we can utilize these mature technologies in the centralized world and then apply this to the blockchain area to increase the scalability of the blockchain dramatically.
Let me start with a personal question. We had our first interview in the beginning of May before the public sale. What has changed for you as a person after these 5 months? I mean, your lifestyle, your schedule, range of tasks, social circuits, everything. Did it change for you as you finished the fundraising part and moved forward to concentrate mostly on project development? What is it like to be one of the most ambitious blockchain projects CEO today?
First of all, most of my time I'm still focused on technologies. So we have, for example, I have to write a series of posts in the actually articles in the media to discuss more details of our technologies, given more background and history lessons that we learn and why we develop QuarkChain in this way. And then also we have a lot of projects that actually I'm working closely with new, for example, technologies, including besides scalability, but also flexibility. That means in terms of we are more designed to be more flexible to adopt different consensus, different virtual machines, and also even customized token economies. So we have basically give some preview in my articles, but there will be a more and more interesting that will be disclosed. And we have some meetups already partially disclose some of this interesting information. And second is that to basically grow the team. So we right now have roughly 20 people around the world. For example, we have established an engineer in China and also opened our Korean office. And we have made a lot of business development in both China and Korea. For example, we just have a strategic partnership with NH, which is the largest security firm in Korea, which have hundreds of billions of assets managed by them. So we will work closely with them to open Korean markets. And third is basically also work on some other more team internal management stuff, both in terms of regulations, both in terms of, for example, other internal developments or a lot of things that's going on.
You have open sourced QuarkChain code on September 17th. And what is the plan right now? Are you going to involve the community to the development? And if yes, then how are you going to do this?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we open source our code and basically tells how people we are able to achieve this number when we launch our testnet on July the 7th. So next step is that we will have a 1 month TPS competition, which basically tells our, for example, community members to use our code to follow the steps and also the tool that we provide to reproduce what we have, or even higher performance than we can get. And we offer generous prize for the winners. For example, the first one we will offer 1 BTC. And then basically we want to encourage our community members to understand and go through the code to have some hands-on experience. And that's the one thing that we are working. Actually, we have heard a lot of people, they are grouping the teams. They say they are working on it and have some early performance number to us. And some of the numbers are really exciting, but I don't want to disclose at the moment, but we will see what is the final results are.
Great. ICODROPS has a really big community, and this video might be seen by a lot of talented people with different backgrounds and skills. Let's assume that I'm a developer and I want to join QuarkChain development process. What should I do?
The first step probably is to join a TPS competition, set a simple testnet. Probably that will spend maybe half day. If there's something, we also welcome any feedbacks. If there's something that is wrong or some is broken. And second is that we also welcome people to find bugs and file corresponding issues in our GitHub. And then we can take a look to see whether this is a really issue or need to assign somebody to help it to fix it. And third is to help write a lot of test case in our repository, so that people can get more familiar with what the code is actually working on. And especially if there's some bug show on, then the best way is to capture these bugs by writing a test case so that we can deterministically reproduce it. And so I think these are some probably easier steps to get familiar with the code base. And even the harder path will probably, we are plan to open our Go repository, basically be on current code base and run in more efficient code in languages in Go. And we welcome everybody who would like to contribute, especially is very good Go experts and want to contribute to blockchain and build the corresponding Go version. And we will see like how this Go will make our performance even more like in different ways. So I think there are a lot of exciting things.
Okay, as we are speaking about the product development, you've announced QuarkChain 2.0. How is it different from the first version and other public chains? And speaking about QuarkChain Roadmap, what are the plans and the most important milestones we should be waiting for? Do you have any updates in your roadmap comparing to the ICO stage?
For QuarkChain 1.0, which is basically what we written in the white paper, is mainly focused on scalability. And so a lot of features actually already written in the white papers actually have been already implemented in our open source code. And people are free to able to check a lot of details in the code and how we achieve all those things in the white paper. We move on, you see there are a lot of actually tough issues still exist in blockchain. So one tough issue is that a lot of blockchain takes some time to adopt new technologies. Like for example, Ethereum, even implement Casper or new consensus, it takes several years. Even recently, they postponed for another year because there's a lot of complications when changing existing code or the existing consensus to new ones. One thing we want to contribute is to offer more flexible blockchain, which is called QuarkChain 2.0. The basic idea is we are able to add more shards by adopting different consensus or even virtual machines or token economies, so that we can quickly adopt new innovations in the blockchain area. Because we know that blockchain runs so fast, and nobody will know after in 2 or 3 years what blockchain will look like. But we are prepared for it. And second is that a lot of like vertical domain blockchains, they have some specific customized needs in terms of both their transaction format, in terms of consensus, or in terms of, for example, token economies. And we are able to open for them so that they are using our infrastructure to quickly, to be able to become our, for example, part of the ecosystem, so that they can still manage their ecosystem relatively independently, but able to share the whole benefits of the whole ecosystem. So I think there are a lot of things that we can explore. One thing actually we are currently doing is to implement proof of stake consensus as per shard consensus, so that a lot of hash power on the per shard can be saved. And we have some early research results, which shows very promising. And for the future, the roadmap for short term, basically for next month, we will have a testnet 2.0. Actually, this month, right now it's early October. A testnet 2.0, which allows everybody is able to join a network and mine the tokens. But this is testnet tokens. So people basically will test what it looks like when the mainnet launch. And the second is that once everything is ready, then we are basically plan to launch our mainnet the end of this year or early next year. So, but that require a lot of verifications of the code. Make sure there's no security issue. Make sure there's no obvious bug. Like especially, it's pretty scary because, like for example, Bitcoin recently have a bug that is able to issue as much as tokens as they want. So we want to make sure all these historical issues that we already know can be already prevented in at least our current system. So I think there are a lot of things to do, but I think there's a lot of exciting things, at least for the short term. Long term, that's how QuarkChain 2.0 comes with. And this is a completely new thing besides our white paper that we released during the public sale. And so we will plan to implement this consensus. We have working towards that code with some researchers in the team. And then we are also be ready for multi-native token that allows like customized, I would say, token economies in the whole system. So a lot of things will be, I think, ready, or maybe we will release some of this information in a few months.
According to the announcements, by now you have more than 40 partnerships, including such projects as Loopring, Seller, Anchor, and many others. We've seen a lot of partnerships that were mostly announced to gain some hype. I'm pretty sure that this is not your case, but anyway, could you provide more details on the nature and mechanism of these partnerships? What actual decisions, activities, business processes are behind these collaborations, and what benefits are they supposed to provide both for QuarkChain and its partners?
So basically, we have partners in different categories. One category is we call one-stop solutions for blockchain, because the public blockchain has a lot of benefits in terms of like transactions or payments, but it still have some issues that are not being addressed in terms of, for example, data, like decentralized data, or also other specialized issues, for example, off-chain solutions. So we collaborate with all these projects to provide this kind of called one-stop solutions. For example, in terms of the off-chain solutions together with generalized state channel with Seller network. And then we also collaborate with Anchor for distributed cloud, and also collaborate with Certic for the security of smart contract securities. And so this is several directions that I think we can work together to make blockchain much easier for the upper layer developers. And second is regarding the applications built on top of us. So this includes the application that using directly smart contracts, or some vertical domain blockchains. They would like to develop their blockchain on a specific area, but still want to enjoy the whole ecosystems of a large blockchain. And so that I think we have worked closely with some of these projects. Like one is Covalent Chain. They are working on supply chain, and they want to work on some specific domain blockchain, but they still want to enjoy more like scalability and also safety, other security features that bring by our QuarkChain. And so Another, like for example, like partners, like for example, Drap, they are building a reputation system, so that they can using the on-chain data to so that it can simplify a lot of transactions based on these reputations. So I think basically our criteria is basically to make sure that all these technologies are solid. There's a very strong team behind to support this project. And then even like we also prefer the project have some demo that can easily tell, oh, what will be the it looks like when you're running on top of the QuarkChain. For example, recently we have worked with Proto Networks, and they have this name service. They already established QuarkChain name service on top of us, and we try to use it, and it's very amazing.
Recently, you have also announced QuarkChain Eco Fund. According to the announcement, it is supposed to empower the world's top blockchain projects. During my visit to Korea, I had a chance to speak to Neo Global Capital, which supports infrastructure projects for Neo, and D-Block, which is a blockchain VC firm and accelerator founded by Icon Blockchain. Can you please share your vision of QuarkChain Eco Fund? Is it going to be something like that? Is it going to be more a kind of QuarkChain investment department or accelerator or incubator? Is it supposed to invest only in projects that help to build a QuarkChain ecosystem or any high quality blockchain projects? What is your vision and strategy with this fund?
Yeah, the basic strategy is like to basically utilize our strong technology background, so it can better help those projects that want to enter into the blockchain areas more easily and friendly. And some of these projects come from traditional internet companies. They have a very good user base, and they have pretty good existing business model, but still they have suffered from some issues that they want to use blockchain to address these problems. And so we are able to help them from technology wise and also some like funding wise to help them to speed up this procedure. And second is there's also some teams that they are already like established, for example, in the blockchain areas, and they want to utilize their, for example, blockchain technology skills to address some new problems. And we would love to closely work with them to offer, for example, advices for both from like funding, but also from technologies, and help to incubate them to grow much faster. But all these prerequisites are basically built on top of QuarkChain. Is basically using QuarkChain as the underlying blockchain, or the QuarkChain can be built like, for example, vertical domain blockchain on top of a QuarkChain. And so I think we are basically having a lot of like a request from a lot of projects these days.
And how many projects are going to be supported by this fund, for example, in the near year, for example?
For near year, we probably will find maybe 10 or 20 projects. It highly depends on the quality and also how this the blockchain technology moves. We also actually have pretty high criteria to determine what kind of project we would like to spend our resources to help. So I'm very selective. So yeah, and that's the plan, and we will see how it goes. And especially like sometimes a lot of unexpected, like blockchain runs so fast, and so sometimes it can be more, it can be less.
Does it mean that these projects also may have ICO themselves? Do you help them to organize all the processes, or you just fund these projects and help them in technical aspect?
Like it depends on their like status. You may have ICO or may not have ICO. Like it is because different projects they have different properties. Some project they just complete to the business, and they don't want to have ICOs. And some project is complete to the customers, and they want some kind of the public sale to attract more user spaces and also to demonstrate their products. So I think this is highly like per project specific, and we are basically just help them to find the best way to for their success.
And again, we have a big community. Maybe someone is interested to participate and to communicate to this fund, how these people can do this.
So we will basically create a separate web page for the QAF and also list the key peoples and also the contact information. And so this will be, we are still in the progress to build out all the information and also this procedure. But as the more and more things are ready, we are going to publish all this information. And then accept more projects from Globalize.
As far as I know, you've participated in a huge number of different blockchain events recently. What's your overall impression, and how do you feel personally? I mean, do you feel comfortable as a public speaker right now, having more experience in this?
Right now, especially from technology-wise, I'm have more and more like information that I would like to tell our audiences. For example, I join a lot of like engineering events. Then I use for example, I can use a pair of slides to discuss all the details of the technologies from low level to big picture, and probably spend 3 or 4 hours. And sometimes I don't even have 10 minutes to go to the bathroom because everybody is so eager to want to learn QuarkChain and try to ask a lot of questions. No matter when I visit Google's ABC community, they have engineers to discuss with us. Also, local engineers that we host events. I see a lot of people that really want to know what is the future of blockchain and how we are able to adjust it and ask a lot of questions. And I'm very happy to work with them to discuss all the internal details. Even I publish a lot of articles, but still this kind of face-to-face interactions can make more confidence between trust between us and also develop communities. And many of them tell me that they are going to form a team to join our TPS competition and write the test code. So I'm very happy to do that and would love to do more to not just only in locals, but also around the world, in Korea, in Russia, in China. And because I think this is something that really brings benefits to the blockchain, and more people should benefit from it.
Is it hard for you to combine all this participation in all these events, managerial work, academic work? How do you plan your personal time? How can you be able to do all of this stuff at the same moment?
Yeah, probably this is the most difficult thing, is how to arrange the time. First of all, I would like to thank you for our team. They are very experts. They are very professional, and our team members are also very like close work together. So I can offload a lot of my tasks in terms of business development, QEF, in terms of the marketing those technology events, organize these events, and also have our engineers to work on these ideas and make it as an actual code that everybody can see it. And so I think I thanks a lot to them to offload a lot of my work. And so for me, although there are a lot of routine work I have to finish, but I also have to our team members so that I can think of more strategic like both in terms of technologies and also future roadmap of the team. And so I also have more time to host like these meetup events around the world. So I think there's a lot of like if sometimes I find, oh, I'm too busy to do something, definitely some people in the team will help me, and then to make a lot of things much simpler and save my time. Yeah, so I think a good team is I think is a very, how to say, help me a lot in terms of this.
Yeah. People are always the key to any problem solution.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
I remember your wonderful story about your experience of meeting Bill Gates when you were young.
Yes. Yeah.
And I suppose many of us have seen this photo with Vitalik Buterin. Did you have a chance to speak to him? What were your personal impression of him as a person? What questions did you discuss? Was it in some way comparable to your encounter with Bill Gates when you were a child?
Actually, I met Vitalik a few times in the crypto in 2019. He is very sharp and understand, for example, anything that discuss, and he can quickly understand the core, the essential problem. So and then we'd have a lot of conversations regarding sharding, and also, for example, some key topics in sharding in terms of hot shard transactions, in terms of hot shard problems. And so next week basically is blockchain week in San Francisco. We are also planning to have some meeting with him to have some latest updates. So I think from technology-wise, I think there are lots of interesting things that happen concurrently. And so when I discuss with something with him, like of our research, I think he also very interesting because this is different angles to address the problem. Like nobody would know what the eventual solution it is, but the more the angle, the better the solution will be. So we are also open to collaborate with Ethereum. And so, for example, these days there are a lot of clients working on Ethereum 2.0, and there are a lot of comparisons. And we also have discussed several comparisons with us in terms of performance, in terms of like different issues, like for example, hot shard transactions. So I think we have a very good conversations, and definitely we would like to have more, especially interactions with developed communities in Ethereum, and so that open the more collaboration opportunities there.
I understand that this is quite a sensitive subject, but I cannot fail to mention the situation with the token release schedule. For those who don't know, QuarkChain has updated token release plan just a few days before the date tokens were supposed to be released. And according to this new scheme, private sale investors, the foundation, and QuarkChain core team tokens will remain locked for 9 months extra. And if the delay in team and foundation tokens release looks like good decision on bear market, which demonstrates the desire to protect current token holders, the delay of token release for private investors is quite controversial. Considering this, I have a few questions. What were the reasons for this decision?
So I think there's a lot of reasons behind that. I think there's one key thing is regarding regulation uncertainties, especially like a lot of team members are in the like for example in the different countries, and different countries have different regulations in terms of the tokens, and also in terms of the like a schedule plan. And so we basically try to make sure that like as this environment changes, like we are actually in the safe like manner. And also we discuss a lot of these things with our private sale purchasers, and then actually we have got a lot of like support for many of them. So especially like yeah, they are very happy. Some of the investors, they are very happy to see actually we keep on working a lot of progress. As you can see, the open source and also TPS competition, and many like investors are very confident in what we can achieve, especially in terms of this market.
And the second part of my question is, don't you think that such actions can set quite a dangerous precedent? What I mean is, if other projects start to change terms for investors retrospectively, this could generate more uncertainty on the market and undermine the credibility of ICOs as fundraising mechanism in general. What do you think about this?
So basically, we a lot of things we just follow the contract to see what we can do the best, and offer all the opportunities in the contract to what we can move. And for example, we can also refund the purchasers according to the contract. Addition, like actually, a lot of things in the blockchain are experimental. So a lot of things are still experimenting. Like for example, like EOS has changed a lot of these parameters, like how many block reward to be offered to block producers several times, and also provide a lot of new things. And like Ethereum Casper also, for example, had delayed. So I think there's a lot of changes, both in terms of technologies development, both in terms of token economies, both in terms of regulations, uncertainties, and so. I think in a short-term period, I would say in a few years, we should like be prepared for all these changes, both like all these areas, because actually you can see like Ethereum when they change like from 1 Ether block reward to 2, actually makes significant changes in the market, right? So this is another kind of example. So. But we will see like this will become more and more mature, and as more people realize and more people joined, I think we are be able to come up with more mature and more predictable way to address all these problems. But unfortunately, since there's a lot of still uncertainty both in technology, all these things, we have to prepare for these unexpected things.
Okay. And let's come back to business development. One of the most important recent news for all who follow QuarkChain was, as you mentioned, its partnership with NH Investment and Securities, which is one of the biggest investment companies in Korea with more than 200 billion asset. You signed a memorandum of understanding for the development of a digital asset management service based on QuarkChain. Could you please give more details on this?
Many companies are actively seeking how to use the blockchain as a tool to enhance their business. And definitely one way is in like direct ways in a lot of financial services. And blockchain actually can address a lot of financial problems than, for example, than using existing tools. And so we closely work with the NH to work together, both in terms of like blockchain services and also both in terms of corresponding financial service in Korea to offer like joint solutions to help like the blockchain to be a better tool for them for their customers. But definitely there are a lot of like especially like innovations in the blockchain areas, I can say both in the United States and elsewhere. And then definitely NH will also want to utilize a platform to be able to utilize these innovations for their customers.
Could you please provide us with more information about your business strategy? I mean, your cooperation with real life established companies. Do you have any other negotiations with some other players in real business?
Yeah, we have a lot of ongoing collaborations with a lot of, I would say, big companies. However, a lot of these things are still in progress, and so we cannot like disclose their names until the official MOU is being signed and announced. But actually, a lot of these companies, they are very, they have a lot of existing business, and they really believe that the blockchain can help to address a lot of the problems, both in terms of like financial, supply chain, gaming, and they already actually have a huge user base. Everybody probably know their names. So there will be a lot of, actually, I would say, surprise later.
I know that you have a special program for developers, like a number of hackathons they can participate in. Can you please tell about this part of your activities?
We are holding almost like half-year hackathons. Each hackathon takes 1 month. We also offer generous reward for all those developers. So the hackathon will involve several tasks regarding develop some D applications on top of us. And also we will offer some small tasks that for example, on our QuarkChain to, for example, to implement some small features and to see how the developer is able to complete all those tasks. And also I will personal to join this month's hackathon in Moscow, and then we'll face with these developers and understand how they are doing, and then also listen to their feedbacks and see how we can further improve our, for example, documents, API, and also the way like to, for example, to set up this improvement procedure. So yeah, we are looking forward to this these events. Actually, we just finished the first month's event on September, and we just also select the top 3 winners that several days ago, and they're really extremely happy. Also, we are also working with other projects in this hackathon so that people can not only know how we offer a solution, but who, like partners that we close work together, can offer the complete solution for blockchain.
You know, at ICO Drops, as a group of investors, we look at the market from investors' point of view. And I'm always interested to get the view from the other side. You, as a CEO of one of the leading projects, what are your thoughts about the current conditions? I know that you've already commented on this, and I liked your ideas. Maybe you can share it with our community.
The blockchain first. Blockchain is still in our early stage. It's like early internet. No people will know how when internet in early stage in 1998, what internet can become and what kind of business model can be on the internet until we know, oh, there's YouTube, there's Google, and there's Facebook. But that's only as long as there's 1 or 2 killer applications, for example, search engine or social network, then I think happens for internet, then I think also for the blockchain, that will be a completely different story. And second, for the volatility of the blockchain, I think that's understandable because first, still a very few people know blockchain is doing and believe in it. I know the people are growing more and more, but still versus like a lot of traditional world, it's a very small fraction. And second is that a lot of utility value of the blockchain tokens are still not fully demonstrated. So a lot of the still property to buy tokens is still like kind of asset, like Bitcoin. And so that's why like the supply, for example, of the Ethereum recently change make a lot of price difference. People changes in the market. So I think once we are able to come up with applications that fully demonstrate the utility value of the tokens, and then impact of blockchain will be much more different. But among this, we also learn from internet is that the internet companies, why they can grow so fast, like exponentially, maybe because there's a network effect in the internet. For example, social network, when people use the social network, the number of users will grow exponentially until reaching some population limit, or search engine or YouTube. So to enable this network effects, they need a lot of, besides these applications, but also need some scalability. So that once this network effect is able to trigger, we need some kind of infrastructure to enable that. So imagine like we are small modem to have social network, and people will just get bored. And so this will be, I think, something that we should really build ready. And so that once the future 1 or 2, I think, come up, our goal is that they should be built on top of QuarkChain.
I agree that if we will see the development of the infrastructure, and we will see some, and we don't need necessarily many, but a few killer apps with really working utility tokens that could change the situation dramatically and provide that network effect you're talking about. So that's why I wanted you to share these thoughts with our community, because in many ways I agree with you. In the end of this interview, is there something you want to add? Maybe you want to discuss some other aspects of QuarkChain.
We are now have I would say adventure in the blockchain, and we believe a lot of things that we are building can make a deep reshape in the blockchain area, make the blockchain I would say more popular and make more impact. So we welcome anyone, no matter you are have any kind of experience or background in terms of technology, or in terms of business development, or in terms of product management, and you're welcome to join the venture together with us, and to be able to contribute to the project, so that the project should belongs to the community, or more like belong to the whole maybe more human, and bring the true benefits to more and more people.
Thank you, Chi. And let me add that 5 months after the ICO, QuarkChain is still one of the most discussed projects in our community. And I wanted to ask you, as a head of one of the projects that people believe in, do you feel responsibility for the whole situation with crypto right now?
Yes, definitely. We have we say, hey, this is a tough procedure, especially given current situation. But really believe we should really confidence in the technology. We really know that this technology should really become part of the future blockchain. I won't say QuarkChain will have to be the one, but I would say this technology should be the future blockchain. And we want to at least make our contribution to these areas. And also, I heard a lot of partners, a lot of collaborators. They say they want to move into blockchain area. I said, hey, why? Because the market is so bad. They said because they don't want to miss the next opportunity. And a lot of people that really they believe in these technologies. They really say, hey, this is something that if they do not do it at this moment, then they will regret for the future. And then they come to us and discuss with us, and find a lot of these people, partners, they have very solid understanding of what's going on. And so I think we want to reach more and more the people like this to build more consensus, not on the price, but on the technologies.
In the end of this interview, is there something you want to say or to wish to our community, to ICO Drops community?
Yeah, I would like to very thank you for ICO Drops for the interview. And ICO Drops has a huge communities and give a lot of great efforts to help people to understand what blockchain it is and what kind of applications and also what kind of the potentials in the blockchain. So I'm very thankful for ICO Drops to help us to have more people to understand our technologies and also work together to make the blockchain whole community much better.
Thank you, Chi. From all the ICO Drops team and all ICO Drops community, I wish good luck to QuarkChain. To all our viewers, thanks a lot for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the bell button and you will never miss next video. Have a nice day and goodbye.